everybody. Welcome to the Real Housewives of New Jersey recap, season 13, episode 9, with myself, Russell Ray, and my co-host with the most, Ronnie Jr.
What is up? I'm feeling the episode.
How's it going, man? Tell me
You
about,
know,
I know you had a little couple things going on with Jonesy in the morning and
oh
filling
yes,
us in on
yes,
the
yes, yes,
tea.
yes. I love radio, and so I would be like a friend of in regards of Housewives for
Okay.
94.7 The Block. There is in New York City. There's a show called Miss Jonesy in the Morning. So she's back in action, and every once in a while, the friend of me will show up. So it's been a lot of fun. Thank you. I love it, Russell. I wake up early. That's why I look disheveled right now.
Well, for anybody who hasn't seen it or heard it, Ronnie is a great co-host. Not only like
Oh,
on our podcast here, but when I also co-host with him on his channel. Now we're streaming on everybody's channels. He actually, I have a snippet of Jonesy in the Morning. I want everybody to check it out before we actually get into Housewives of New Jersey. Here we go.
You're where everyone is. Jonesy in the Morning on 94.7 The Block.
Hey, boo, hey, good morning.
What's up, Jonesy? How you doing?
Randomly, ladies and gentlemen.
Did I tell you that I have a new best friend?
You did not?
Actually, I think we're dating.
Oh.
Yeah. Wayne, listen to this. Don't be jealous, Wayne. I think this is a hot off the presses. It turns out that randomly is now seeing Gail King. What? You believe that?
What? Does Oprah know about this?
Well, technically, we're not dating yet. And, well, technically, she doesn't know me. But let me tell you, this rumored and alleged $12 million contract she's about to sign just tells me she's all the friend that I want.
Oh, wow. Okay. Nice, Gail. Congratulations, but you too must still salute the cut, Gail.
Yeah.
So for anybody who doesn't know, that's Ronnie Jr. with he co-hosts with Jonesy in the Morning in New York City. He spotlights, he does his entertainment reporting. And speaking of entertainment reporting, we actually have a special guest host to share with you today, Hollywood Leon. Hey, Leon, welcome to the show.
Hi. Thank you for having me. What an intro. That's amazing.
Oh.
And
We
congrats,
try, we
Ronnie.
try.
The music and everything, it was so dramatic. I felt like I was like literally waiting in the wings.
hey, we get it in on this, all of our YouTube channels. I'm really proud of all of us. We give honest opinions. It's not easy, especially with Real Housewives of New Jersey. So much going on Twitter and all these things. I typically don't pay attention to all that. My claim to fame in terms of this is what we see on the show and a lot of the fun. And also, I must admit, last week, as a surprise, and maybe again today, Russell Ray had a game. I mean, it was giving like, it wasn't even giving Andy Cohen. It was giving better than Andy Cohen, which was honestly a good thing.
Look, all we need is Andy for me to reach out to me one time. Like, hey, Russ, I'm not feeling so good. I got the Rona. I just need you to come here for a minute.
Not you wishing him the Rona.
I'm not wishing him the Rona, but everybody's getting it nowadays. You know what I mean? Like, and like, it's only taking
Coming
people out for
back.
like 2 days at a time. We're not doing the longevity of like how I went down the first time. That was 2 weeks of pure hell. But anyways, I want to get right into it real quick, right off the top. Ronnie, let's start with Hollywood Leon. Hollywood Leon, just in case y'all are just joining us. Hollywood Leon has covered everything from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Orange County. He has the Terrible podcast that goes on weekly. He covers all the pop culture. He was covering Bravo News Daily at AfterBuzz TV. Like he's on Camping, HBO's Camping with Jennifer Gardner. I mean, like, you have done it all. So I want to get your initial response to episode 9 of the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Like, what is your thoughts on this episode and how everything played out thus far?
Well, I was actually happy that it was mostly about Dolores. So I think she deserves this new boyfriend, this new life, this new love. And what an amazing house. I was like, Jesus Christ. It was given 50 Shades of Grey.
It was.
I like that. You know what I mean? So I was like, I don't see nothing wrong with a little 50 and a little gray. So I thought it was good. I like Polly. The wine vault was giving me a little Lenny from Real Housewives of Miami. But I was still going for it. Like, doesn't mean like a wine vault is bad. But it just reminded me. But what an interesting episode. Yes. We love a psychic on Housewives.
We love a psychic. It was giving me I can't even remember the professor's names from Harry Potter, where they did the oracles and they were looking in the cup. It was Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, I think it was.
I'm so sorry.
She
We
did.
for the white people.
Anyways, also, like, we don't really like to mention Voldemort from the Real Housewives of Miami, so we just renamed him Voldemort because we don't like to give him any press.
Yeah, Lisa's ex will call him.
Lisa's-
Leave it
Lisa's-
there. Yeah.
Lisa's Tuesday garbage that hasn't been taken out and forgot to be taken out.
That's right.
Ronnie, what's your initial thoughts on episode 9?
I really do. It's the same. It's, Dolores is our superstar of the show. Everyone makes such a big deal. Is it Team Teresa? Is it Team Melissa? But like Dolores is such an integral part of the show. And, we get excited this season because there is a little bit of her putting the foot down and saying, no, this is what Paulie requests and wants out of a relationship. Frank, you can't be all up in the mix with me. And I feel like it's good to see that. So I guess I'm very much in the same thought process as Leon, which is I want to see Dolores celebrated. And it was also very interesting on Watch What Happens Live. She did mention, although she already looks perfect in every way, as do all these ladies, she did admit to, and sometimes just admitting it makes you feel good. She admitted to being on the Ozempic. So
pass me some, please. Pass the
here's
Ozempic.
Here's the reason why. Jackie had come out and she gave an interview to Access Hollywood or Entertainment Tonight, and she mentioned that some of her castmates were on that drug, and she didn't necessarily mention who. So I think at one point or another it was going to come to light. So Dolores had to address it before it came out in a negative light. And like they say in PR, get ahead of it and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm not saying if it's a good or a bad thing. Like do what you got to do what you want to do. However, the idea of like, no, it's just, I've been doing more lunges or whatever the case. Like there was again, I'm not celebrating that she's like this much more skinny than she was before. She was beautiful before, but I'm more celebrating like, yeah, it's what it is. I'm in the public eye. Yeah, I got public surgery. I got plastic surgery.
Oh, what's happening here?
We are moving. We are moving all around.
We're moving the pieces just like, oh. Look, anything can happen when we're live. This is why we don't shoot and then edit and then go live, because it's just funner when you go live.
It is.
But speaking of Watch What Happens Live, I have some cheese, man. Well, it's not really cheese, man. That happened this past week with someone coming after Melissa Gorga. Are you ready for this?
Other than me, because I always come after her.
Oh, do you? Oh, no, we love Melissa Gorga. It's, I got to tell you, let me just make a comment.
Quickly.
I am giving the judgment based on Melissa Gorga, based on what we see on the television. I know other people are all over the place on all these odd social media platforms. I'm saying she seems like a fun girl. I'm going to leave it at that. So whatever is said elsewhere is said elsewhere. But me personally, I like her. Leon, you don't like her at all?
No, I like Melissa.
Oh,
I'm just not crazy about Melissa like everyone else.
Okay, well, let's hear what the chisme is, and then
I don't think I'm crazy about any housewife minus Dolores. I'm crazy about Dolores because I actually have genuinely liked her since her first episode. Anyways, let's get into this because I was like, this seems a little convenient. Here we go.
Melissa.
Really? Oh, she bought them. She bought them.
Oh, she bought them. You think? Who has more followers?
So Andy, she was on Watch What Happens Live. And Andy called
Alexia,
who has more followers. And Alexia, she guessed Teresa. And mind you, her and Teresa were just in New York together less than a month ago. So I think it's convenient that now she's coming after Melissa saying, oh, she bought them. She bought them.
She probably did.
Which, I mean, am I entirely against for like these celebrity people who are trying to grow their name?
Everyone buys them though. Like Rihanna bought them.
Okay.
Like a bunch of people came out. Remember when they took them away initially, like years ago?
Yes.
That's how we found out a bunch of people had bought their followers because like Rihanna lost like 1 million people. Kendall and Kylie lost a couple million. So even though they have millions, they add on a couple thinking that we won't notice. And I'm like, there's only like really 10 housewives that are super famous. And Melissa Gorga is not in that 2.7 million.
She should be, though. She should be an icon, a queen, a goddess. We love.
She's the goddess of the Jersey Shore, baby. There's a difference.
No, see, that's what's interesting. Melissa, in my opinion, we don't know what will be the fate or whatever, but like to me, she's just such a badass. This show, if anything, like it's fine. You know, I would love her to come back for sure. If she doesn't, I'm still rocking out with Melissa Gorga heavy all day, every day. So
I
it's
like her
not,
evolution. Like she's had a good
yeah.
evolution and stuff.
All I'm saying is this show doesn't make or break. Like it's not the end of the world. You know, for some people it is.
Absolutely.
For some people it is. There, especially in this day and age where there's all kinds of other things you could be doing. I personally really enjoy her podcast, and I'm not going to make this a whole episode about me defending Melissa as usual. Lots of people don't like her. Good for
Ronnie
you.
defends Melissa Gorga.
No,
Ep.9.
no, I should shut my mouth, right?
She just is always, to me, like
Look
there's
at he keeps it going.
always two people. There's the people that are just the people, and then there's always someone that's trying. And to me, it's always Melissa trying. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, maybe Teresa had incredible luck flipping the table, becoming super famous, and like just becoming a part of pop culture icon, you know, or pop culture history. And like, I feel like Teresa's always been like tap dancing on the side, like, look at me, look at me. You know, it goes back
You
to
feel like
her.
who?
Melissa's always been like a little tap dancer on the side trying to get, you know, like,
Oh.
look at me. And I'm like, I know, like from the song and like Joe building the studio. And I remember like he was in the bed and she was singing in the closet and he's like, shh, your mom is singing. And I'm like, this is so set up. Just
Wait a
stop,
minute.
Melissa.
But at the same time, when she was doing music, she was doing music with Johnny Wright. That's no name to just like, you know, laugh
Because of
at.
Housewives.
But it doesn't.
But to be fair,
yeah.
To be fair, if I was on Housewives and I had the status of having this platform and people following me, I would have released the best of the best songs that I could have found.
Oh,
and do
are
I
you kidding
think
me?
On Display was the best song? I don't think On Display was the best song. There's plenty of artists out there who are not vocalists who have amazing songs.
No, do it. Yeah, for
Britney
sure.
Spears
I
is one
agree.
of
I
them.
agree. I totally agree with that. Like,
So you know what I
release
mean?
the
Like-
music, release the book, do
Yes.
everything you can.
But do
I'm
it
not
at
knocking
its
that.
best.
I'm just saying there's always two kinds of people in the world, like Britney Spears says. The ones that entertain and the ones that are trying.
And the best part is we all have different opinions. Like some people grew up with like Britney Spears as their queen. I personally never liked her, never, not once. I didn't
I don't see
dislike
it.
her, but I didn't really care. J-Lo was a queen for me. Janet Jackson was a queen for me. Diana Ross was a queen for me. Britney, I didn't even like. There was nothing that moved me in that way. No diss to her, but that's my point. Is people get a little too excited about these shows about like who is it this one or is it this one? Like who you like, and I'm gonna like who I like. I'm
They're all
actually really
terrible.
excited of the people who do love Teresa, like Alexia. Like that's great. And if she is in this moment of love, like I kind of can really be excited for her because it's like she went through so much within this show and to sort of come out on the other side. Now, will this be a long-term thing with Louis? I don't know.
Mhm.
Question mark. But at the same time, it's
How many
happening now.
questions?
3, and she's happy, and it is sort of fun to see. It's like much like what Leon said about Melissa's evolution or growing. Teresa has grown into this new person, and all of her girls are growing older. It's kind of a fun time for Teresa, even if you're not like a huge Teresa fan. And a lot of people, I'll give credibility to where it's at, did kind of say that because she had COVID on this particular episode that was recorded, they missed Teresa on the show. So kudos to them all. Reality TV is difficult, so I'm giving flowers all around.
And without further ado, because that was enough on that subject. This will be our word of the day. So if you're watching at home and you want something to drink, or actually, Lynn, can you do the little Vanna White? Yes, please. If you hear the word Joe, take a drink of your cocky. If you are over 21, if you're not over 21, just go ahead and take a drink of your LaCroix because just stay sober, make good choices. Don't do like us and be in a midlife crisis having alcohol in the air.
After drinking in the morning and the afternoon, just like Marisol. Yes.
With that being said, we're going right into Dolores and Polly's conversation. What did you all think of here? Hold on. Let me get you all side by side so I can get your opinions. Cool. Awesome. So what did you think about the conversation between Dolores and Polly and Polly kind of initiating, I'm not going to stand here for Frank being besties. It's not what I'm about. It's not, you need to take a stance. You need to have that conversation with him and you need to let him know where he stands. How do you feel about that?
Leon?
Leon.
I liked it. I don't particularly like old school values, But when it works for some people, like, God bless, Dolores is that kind of person that grew up old school. So she is going to, live her life with those old school values. So it just lines up perfectly with what she believes in. And so I like it. I'm over Frank. Like, I'm over this whole like Frank bitching all season. Like, it seems very fake to me too. Like, you have a girlfriend. We don't want to hear about how Dolores doesn't text me. Like, it's kind of giving desperado for a storyline. Get out of here. Go to the gym.
Instead of Real Housewives giving Desperate Housewives.
Yeah, I'm just like, we don't need this. I'm glad that Polly is like puffing up the chest, so to speak.
Yeah.
And like, this is my woman, and you belong to me, and I just want to spend time with you, and it's about us, and it's not about Frank. Yeah, that's how it should be. Especially like with those like New Jersey old school values. Like, we have to like,
Very old school.
yeah, we have to like put ourselves in that perspective. Like, we live in California. I'm gay. I don't have that kind of mentality, but I can appreciate what I'm watching, and I have seen New Jersey for a long time. I feel like I know Dolores. That is her type of man, relationship,
Yeah.
and point of view. And she finally has it. So we should be happy for her. And Frank really needs to stop. It's reaching at this point. The crying at the baseball game, like he was trying to have a scene. And she's like, dude, we're at a charity event. Like, what is wrong with you? Like,
Yeah.
it's a little too much.
It's
All
probably
the
being
boys.
it's probably being poured on. And yeah, he might be a little bit in a mode where he's like, what can I do to keep me on the show? Or, sneak Brittany in there, his girlfriend. The fact of the matter is, even if it went good those first couple of years, that's not, forever. And, I think I mentioned on this show a bit ago that what it does is it allows Dolores to date unavailable men. So like, I liked David. I felt like David was great for Dolores, but he was unavailable. You know what I mean? And Frank being that missing link allowed for that. So now that she's with Polly and he is kind of more like, I want, a little bit more of you. I don't think you should really be texting with him, et cetera, et cetera. It does feel more real. And it just makes all of us as viewers say, yes, we want Dolores to have this win because she's just really the most straight up. She's the most honest. She's insanely vulnerable on the show. And we've watched her for years and years and years. And it's kind of making you say, why can't she have a happy ending? And that's sort of what we're seeing. And I'm definitely here for it. Yeah.
Do you think that Polly and Frank will ever get to that point in their relationship where they can be good friends? Or do you think that Polly is always just going to push that away?
I think they can. I think what needs to happen is what Paulie's doing is he has to put his foot down. He's like, this is where we're at now. It's kind of like you have to teach people to treat you, teach people how to treat you. And that's what Paulie is doing. He didn't wait 6 months, 8 months, a year, and then say, I really don't like Frank around. He said, if we're going to be together and we're going to live this life together, Frank is not going to be a part of that. Will Frank come in later? I think Paulie does have a stand-up character that will happen, just not right now.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing. I like Frank, and I really think that he would be a good asset to the show if they bring on Brittany, and she can not necessarily be. Oh my goodness, I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Decline. Sorry about that.
There's all kinds of camera angles going on, phones.
Look, we're trying to be production executive production values, right?
We're giving you live show.
I like Frank, and I like what he's about. I do think he's reaching when it comes to his claim to fame because I think he feels it might be running out. I don't think it's going anywhere. If he just sit back, relax, have Brittany engage more with the group. He engages with Brittany more in the group because I think as a couple, like even though there is a significant age gap between them, I think there's a lot of fun there to be had. And I think Brittany can bring this fun element of like, oh, Frank's +1, because I would feel bad if Frank is detached from the men's group because they all have established this great relationship. But I do understand where Paulie's coming from, where it's like, why are you best friends? Because my mom is like that. Why are you best friends? Why are you trying to be all up in? My mom would call it, why are you all up on my jock? And it's just not. It's not what you would normally do. But then again, like what I mentioned before, like in the first few weeks, if you have a functioning family and you can have one big Easter or one big Christmas, it lessens the stress on your kids because they're not running to and fro to really try to make this happen and try to please everyone on these holidays. So there's a fine line between I love Polly and I love what he's about and I love how he makes Dolores happy. And then there's that line of, well, like he kind of has to make it work because like Dolores said, he has a great relationship with his ex. So why can't Dolores have a great relationship with her ex? And it's like this alpha male toxic masculinity thing that everybody's talking about in the media today, where it's like toxic masculinity. That is what it is. I'm not even going to get into that. But I do respect the relationship that Dolores and Frank have. But again, Dolores has led that relationship to where it can be functional to the point where it is now. And Frank was a filler for David because David was never around. And now Polly's around. So David Frank doesn't need to be a filler. Oh my God, there's a lot going on in that situation.
Fighting words. You called him a filler. Frank the filler. The thing about Frank is he doesn't have to be he doesn't have to be worried if he does have any, maybe he wouldn't admit this, but if he does have any worry like, oh, I'm losing the limelight, like this was kind of a fun experience, he doesn't really have to worry about it. Like we're in a day and age, not like the old days where you do a reality show, and it's over. He can create a podcast of his own. It could be very much the caveman podcast. He can still have fun and still be part of the media in some way, not media, but like part of the entertainment industry. He'll be fine. Frank is he's a grown up. He will be fine.
Yeah, I don't know why he's worried. I think I agree with Russell when he said, like, just kick back. Like, I think it'll be fine. You're not going anywhere. But I don't think we should incorporate his girlfriend. She's too young. She's too young, and sometimes it doesn't work. We've seen it on Orange County. And, like, even Crystal on Beverly Hills, she's, like, right at that cusp. When they're too young, they just don't blend in with the older women.
I'm notoriously very much against the young, so I agree with you on that.
And Ronnie's very biased for it. He loves an older housewife.
We do. That's what it's supposed to be about. Like I
need like 49 to like 56. I want 2-time divorcee. Like I like when you've lived a little. But I agree with you, Leon. Just a quick question, and sorry, Russell, to jump in here.
No, you're good.
In a nutshell, can you say so? What do you think about Rachel? Because I agree with you. Usually the younger ones don't work, but I've really been enjoying Rachel Fuda. What is your take on that?
I like Rachel too. I think she's very New Jersey, which I like. I think she is gonna fit in well. I like the newbies. I like everyone except Danielle. She's kind of getting on my nerves. She's getting on my nerves a little bit. It's like it's giving barking Chihuahua. Like relax. Relax.
Those are fighting words.
I like Rachel, but I think also like she should have just
sorry.
Not what you say, it's how you say it.
True.
But, I'm no one to talk, but Rachel could have worded everything differently the way she delivered it to Margaret, and she could have handled it with Danielle a little bit better as well, and kind of been like, "Girl, come on, I was going to pass the information on. Like we're on a TV show. Like, what do you expect?"
Or also, she didn't say it in a malicious way. Like sometimes, like people are so sensitive, and I'm not saying Danielle's sensitive in this way, but like they're so sensitive, and it's like. You're being defensive. No one was like your mind is telling you people are talking about you, but in reality, it was this came up in conversation. Chill. Danielle is great, and she started off really strong. We love Nate, but I think one thing that we mentioned a bit ago is that she is kind of putting herself in a really challenging position because now it's either I don't want to be around because I'm going to put hands on somebody, which we know that you will not continue on with the show if that happens, or B. Everyone could get under your skin. So I do think Danielle will come across on the other side, and I think she's going to be a long 6 to 7 to 8 season housewife. But I feel like she's definitely getting her she's going through it this first season. But I think at the put it to you like this: next season, I think she's going to be a little better at doing what she needs to do on camera.
I think it's going to be a rough ride for her for a little bit. I think she came in not having her ducks in a row. Come in with that like broken family, so to speak, like, and she let it out of the bag immediately. Like, it's going to be a ride. All of that has to play out before she's going to be like super duper happy and amazing if she has that kind of longevity. But I do like all the newbies. I do like them. It's all very New Jersey. It's all on brand. So I'm here for it. You know what I mean? Jackie's annoying.
I don't know that I
Jackie's
would call
annoying.
Jackie annoying.
I'm
Can I
like,
tell you one thing? Can I tell you one thing I don't like about people knocking Jackie? I don't like people knocking them when they're down. Like she's a part timer, and it's always like the making fun of her because she's a part timer. I wish that people
she's
would
trying
just.
extra hard for that extra credit.
I know, but wasn't that just Jackie's personality anyway? She was
No,
very
she wasn't
stoic.
very like whoosh, 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 whoosh after everybody.
but she
now.
wasn't-
Can we
Even
talk
the
about though how Jackie is actually winning, even though she has less? Because Jackie is actually the richest
she's been
housewives
winning.
out of all of the Jersey housewives,
She's been
and she
winning. Yeah, I always
she's
say
so
that.
understated in her cash
Oh.
flow that I'm like,
She
Well,
gets
then-
to suck Evan's dick every night. She's winning. She gets to get pounded by that
Oh,
fucking
good.
big, burly, grizzly, gorgeous, fucking boring white man. Like,
Ian,
he's-
question
oh.
for you then. Question for you. I have to know because Nate has been. Oh my.
I mean, wouldn't you just like to? Oh yeah. I mean, I would
Okay,
take both
Nate
of
or
them.
Evan, or both at the same time, Leon. What are you
Both
thinking?
at the same time? Evan behind me, Nate in front of me.
Leon is here.
The Eiffel Tower.
Oh
he's here
my
to party.
Wheelbarrow.
This is the Real Housewives of New Jersey recap you never thought you needed.
And if you happen to be watching with your children, you can go ahead and put them back on Peacock to watch Create the Escape, where you can find me creating escape rooms.
Jackie
That way
is
your
fucking
kids are
winning.
occupied while we talk about the Real Housewives in an uncensored fashion.
Mhm.
Jackie
Oh my
is
gosh.
winning. Good for Jackie. Good for fucking Jackie. But
Yeah.
you know, she doesn't even suck his dick. I'm like, bitch, go suck that dick.
Parental advisory. I guess we gotta say it.
Margaret's a little annoying this
Did I
season
make a
too. Like,
disclaimer?
let go of the Arsenal word. Like, she's like Arsenal. Like, she's just going crazy. I'm like, Margaret, fucking relax too.
Do you
Everyone
think
needs
she's going
to relax.
crazy? I don't think
All
Margaret-
of them,
I've
all of
not
them
been-
are on heightened alert. Like, the
I've not been
aliens
a
are coming or
huge.
something.
I've not
Which
been
they
a
are.
huge Margaret fan from like the very, very beginning, but that doesn't mean I didn't like her. Just I wasn't like enamored like people were. But I thought she's held together really well this season. Yeah.
We need a little parental advisory going into
Oh.
this.
If you like this, my podcast's called Everyone is Terrible, and we get fucking disgustingly dirty.
I love it. Well, since we're already going down that lane, I have a new game for you. It is called Sue Slander Throw in the Slammer.
Oh, wow.
So out of the
Oh,
Real
wow.
Housewives
Don't
of
do
New
it.
Jersey cast, I need you each to pick one person that you, or what, I need you to pick three people. One of them you're going to sue. One of them you're going to slander their name until no one likes them. And the last one you're going to absolutely throw in the slammer and throw away the key, never to be returned.
Ooh.
Hollywood Leon, since you are our primary guest today, or since you're our guest of honor, we're going to go ahead and ask you, who
Ooh, I
do
don't
you
know.
sue, slander, and throw in the slammer?
Oh man, I don't know. Okay, so I guess I would sue Jackie so I can get some of that money. He's super rich, so let's do that. I'll sue Jackie. Sorry, Jackie. I do actually like you. And then slander. I think it's really fun to sometimes argue with Ronnie, so I'm just gonna slander Melissa.
But you don't have to like her. I like her. You don't have to like her. Do what you do.
I like all of them. That's the thing. It's like I just because I'm being a hater or being petty or calling you terrible doesn't mean I don't like you. It's
Nice tease for your podcast. Yes.
thank you.
Yes.
But so I would probably slander Melissa because she's such an easy target. She's such an easy target. And then throw away the key. Fuck. Slammer. Just because she's a little extra this season, let's go with Jennifer Aiden.
Jennifer Aiden.
You know what it is about her? She is in that same category with Candace, with Brandy, people that always end up shooting themselves in the foot. It's like we give you the rope and you hang yourself. Like you always just take it too far.
Mhm.
Too much.
I can
Too
see that.
Too much. Sorry.
Yeah. Agreed.
Ronnie Jr., you are up next. Who would you wait? Where's my little thing at? Who would you sue, slander, and throw in the slammer?
This is gonna be so. How could I outdo what Leon said? Oh my goodness. Everyone is terrible podcast. He really brings the heat. Russell, let me see. So the person I would sue, would be who's the smartest on the cast? Who's anybody? Whoever's the
Chris
smartest.
Jackson.
Smart on Jersey? Oh man.
I was gonna go with who's the smartest. Let me just throw somebody. So it would be Bill Aiden for no reason other than he's got a beautiful home. So it would be Bill. What's the next one? Slander. Okay, it would have to be
just
the person
tarnish their name.
Is I'm putting extras on it. It would have to be the person that is like she can't really like. It would have to be Teresa. I was trying to dress it up and make it okay, but it would have to be Teresa. Yeah.
And last but not least, who are you throwing in the slammer and throwing away the key to?
Okay, well, I'm gonna flip it over here because that's a little much. But I'm gonna say like slammer, like going to the slammer, like like the club. And so I would take.
First of all, I don't know if these viewers know what that is, but in New York, that is a certain thing.
Okay, so I'm trying to flip it, and I'm trying to flip it. No, I'm taking Joey Gorga with me. I'm trying to flip it. I'm trying to flip it. So if you know, you know, and if you don't know, you don't know.
Oh my goodness!
You could guess. You could guess.
Oh my gosh!
So me and Joey would be hot and steamy up in that thing. Yes.
Ronnie, you big whore.
Ronnie Jr. Thank you for playing Sue Slander. Throw in the slammer.
I don't know if those were the real rules.
You will never know who I'm going to sue, who I'm going to slander, and who I'm going to throw in the slammer.
Oh goodness!
Oh my show.
What was that?
You're not playing?
Andy Cohen filling. Andy never plays and watch what happens live.
Oh goodness! And yet
so
he has
I need to be ready, so when he calls me in, I could be like, "Oh yeah, I don't play the game either. You're right. You're so right."
He has us do Wendy Williams type segments, and he gets to be scot-free. Okay, I see what's going on here. Put the disclaimer on the bottom again.
I saw this video on TikTok, and it was talking about this Andy Cohen conspiracy and how he's going to retire very soon, and so he's grooming somebody to be like the next Andy Cohen. And the conspiracy theory was it was going to be Craig Conover from Southern Charm. I'm like,
no.
If we have time for an aside, I will tell you who it should
TikTok be. TikTok is insane. Y'all don't know shit. I'm like, really?
I don't waste my time
Craig? Craig's cocaine ass? I don't think so.
No.
Let's all put somebody
Allegedly.
up. Do we have Russell? Do we have time to do an aside about that? I could tell you who I think would be the one. Guaranteed, my answer is going to be the right answer. Oh my god, Matt Rogers. Matt Rogers is the perfect and only person at the level to jump in and mix it up the way. Well, there's other people, but Matt Rogers is high on the list. I'll say that.
He's great. Okay. He's great. Love
Who
him.
are you choosing?
Oh, I don't think.
Wait, not for nothing. I'll step in with the second one. Here
we go.
I'll step in with our guy, our good friend who's been a bartender, DJ Richie Sky, also could jump in at a moment's notice and knock that thing down for sure. Oh, why am I talking that way? Knock that thing down.
You can knock that thing down in the slammer.
I don't mean knock that thing down. Yeah. I mean host the show.
He could knock me down any day too.
Oh gosh, no.
You know what? I will say, if someone had to replace Andy Cohen, Michael Rappaport would be the perfect individual to do it because he is a housewife fanatic. He watches every series. He's gone on multiple television shows and talk shows to talk about how much he thinks The Real Housewives is reality gold. And I think if anyone's going to dedicate themselves, and the fact that like he has a comedic background, I think filling in for Andy Cohen would be great because again, when a host replaced a host, it should not be of the same genre type host because it's always going to be compared and contrasted. So if you have someone like Michael Rappaport come in, he's a comedian. Andy Cohen wasn't a comedian. He was an executive producer for ABC for years before he came on as the host for The Real Housewives of New Jersey and then Watch What Happens Live. So I feel like Michael Rappaport would take a comedic approach to it. And again, he is housewife fanatic, so he would be the one that would really be there and be authentic and genuine in his interest of the show, and he would be the chismoso and the one that just digs up the most dirt on people because he would want it. He wants to be involved with the gossip. So
I think
I say him.
realistically it would be him too.
Yeah.
And we also must add that Russell X. Raymond, who is the host on Peacock Streaming, Peacock TV's Create the Escape, he's a design expert and host, would make a nice option at the short list to be a new host of a modern version of Watch What Happens Live. We feel like Russell could do the job too.
We'll call it Watch What Happens Tonight.
Oh, on at 11
Slammer.
on at 11:35 p.m. baby. Yeah,
I don't know where I'd look. I don't know where Ronnie's going with the slammer, but
it was your fault. You made the title so challenging, and I was like,
Dolores and Jennifer, who continuously slammed each other through the entirety of the season until we got to this point where now they're making good, and they called it a truce. Somebody waved the white flag. Ronnie, tell us what you think about this interaction, because I know you just love Jennifer Aiden so much, and as much as you adore Dolores.
Love Dolores, don't love Aiden. But I do like a moment of like, let's just stop all this, let's move forward, because at the end of the day, as much as drama brings good television, we need movement and growth and new storylines. So I was happy to see it. Yeah, very simple. That's all I got on that.
Leanne?
I thought it was very surface. I don't think it's. Oh, sorry. Can you guys hear all that?
Yeah.
So sorry. Then mic is being changed out tonight. Anyways, I thought it was very surface and kind of easy. I'm with Dolores too. It's like fighting with the child that's at this point, because she's one of those people that can't help it. So I would have called it truce too, just because I would have been exhausted to fight with her all season. She's a hard person to fight with. Like, she goes hard and doesn't stop. So I would be like, okay, you're right. You're right.
And Dolores has already won this season when she kindly and calmly said, "Oh gosh, Bill's got to go home with her every night. Could you blame him for drinking?" Like, she's already won, even when she wasn't really like loud
Exactly.
and
It's not
coming
gonna
at
last
her
either. Like, Jennifer's gonna come after her over those comments at the reunion, I'm sure.
Yes.
So this is a short-lived truce anyway. So I would have called it too, just because I know it's gonna blow up later. And it's like, why fight all season when we can just fight at the end, bitch?
Look, I honestly, I think they're playing nice, but I don't think that Jennifer has a genuine interest in really moving past it. Jennifer Aiden is the type that always is going to carry, she's always going to be packing, because she's always going to have something in her pocket to pull out, to throw at you in case you make her feel uncomfortable, or in case you put her on the defense. She has something to throw back at you, no matter how weak or strong it is.
Well, she holds a grudge like no
She
other.
does.
She holds a grudge. But the only person she should really be mad at, like, because I understand Jennifer, and I'm like, when you're hurt, you hurt back, and hurt people. So I feel like the one thing she's really hurt about, and that she'll never get past, is Margaret, because now it's affected her kids with what happened. So it's like she is genuinely hurt about that. I don't understand why she's really trying to go there with Dolores. If you're going to go there with someone, go there with Margaret. I get it. We see why you both can't get along, and it's great TV. But I don't understand why she's trying to go so hard on Dolores.
I almost question, Jennifer's family is from the Middle East, correct?
Turkey.
Are you sure that Jennifer's family is not from Central and South America? Because she pulls up more dirt than any Hispanic that I know.
She plays
sure
dirty.
She's not one of us? Because she's just digging up dirt, just bringing up things that don't even make sense just to throw it in the conversation.
Yeah. Some people hit hard when they hit back. So it's like, she's one of them.
And I feel like, but here's the thing too, is Jennifer is still young enough to not have lived enough life. So like, when you're going toe to toe with Margaret, and granted, do I think Margaret should have brought this up? Or do I think Jennifer's daughter should have discovered that her dad had an affair on her mom on TikTok? Absolutely not. But again, you're in reality TV. If you know there's something in the closet, it's going to come out at some point, and you need to address it and get ahead of it before anyone else does, because nothing's worse than hearing news from someone else when you could have heard it in the person right in the room next door. So like, but Margaret also has lived like this crazy life of ups and downs, raising herself from a young age,
I love
rekindling her
Margaret.
relationship with her mom. So like she is going to have the ammunition to go rounds with Jennifer, even if she doesn't want to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Honestly, I think it all goes back to Teresa and Melissa, and this ripple is affecting the entire cast.
Mhm.
And that's why I feel everyone is in this like heightened state where they all are very, very defensive about everything. And they all feel like they need to try extra hard just in case there is this division, I think, because even Jennifer is like putting her marriage on the line now. The way she's talking about Bill, I'm like, girl, you're saying things on TV that you're
Mhm.
not going to be able to come back from. And I don't
Yes.
think that you should throw away your marriage. Like, there's a lot of love there. Like, I know it's not perfect, but like, you have done the work, you've put in the work. Like, do you really want to now? I don't know. She's talking like she wants to get divorced. And I'm like, I don't think that would be a good move for you. So I
Neither
think
do
she
I.
needs to relax. All of them need to relax. They're all in this heightened state. I've never seen anything like it. I feel like because of Teresa and Melissa, this is not going to continue another season. They're going to divide it. There's going to be some sort of change, and
Yeah.
they're all dying to be on the other side. That's why even Frank's going crazy. I'm telling you, there's like something in the water in New Jersey.
Yeah, that and you put in 2 new cast members too, which show how replaceable any cast member could be. It's the recipe for sure.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of high insensitivity, we had this coffee talk where this medium came in and she was reading the oracles out of their coffee cups after they each took their shots, and the grounds in the cup were dictating what she was reading. Now, when you talk about high insensitivity, the women were bringing up, they brought up the issue towards the end if this medium was prepped before the women showed up, because she was saying words and identifying things that were oddly specific to conversations had in the past. And so a few of them at the table kind of took offense to it, but I will say I did appreciate Danielle's genuine reaction to thinking, okay, cool, like my brother and I are going through a hump, and now we could potentially get through it. He misses me as much as I miss him. And I think that was some validation that she needed to feel in order to make this next step of reaching out and bridging that relationship that had fallen apart. And I feel like if anyone had a genuine experience, it was her, because she really kind of just dove in and was clinging on to everything this medium was saying, even though she was a bit resistant at first. But I thought it was a little convenient that the medium was using words that have been thrown around in the past about the women when they're talking about each other.
Probably the most terrible psychic we've ever had on Real Housewives in history. Like, we had the incredible one in the OC that predicted like that Brooke was lying about cancer. We've had the one in Real Housewives of Atlanta that made everyone go crazy and start fighting. This one, and we had the psychic in Beverly Hills, like, tell Kyle that Mauricio's never going to emotionally fulfill her. And now this coffee shit, this was awful. And I have heard of it, but I've heard of it with tea down in New Orleans, and I did it, and it was amazing. And I do think you're right. Danielle had the most genuine experience. Everybody else, it was so fake. It was bad.
It was very fake, but not only it was like, it was convenient that Teresa recommended this person to host or like to be the lead of this event. And then Teresa happened to not be there, which I found oddly.
She's like, I'm gonna give you a script, okay? And this is this is what you should say.
She said, so my brother Joe's wife is gonna be there, and she's on display. And then you have, just make Danielle feel a lot better about her situation with her brother so that she doesn't project about me and my brother. And then let's talk about all the other women, but just, I want you to use these words so that they think that you're in their minds. Like,
that's crazy.
Girl, if I could flip the table right now, and I wouldn't ruin my house, I would do it. Because I'm like, okay.
Yeah. The producer and Teresa. Who would have thought?
Oh man, this is just becoming too much. Don't you guys think?
It was a fine scene, but I do agree with what Leon's saying that well, first of all, it wasn't as good as some of the other ones, as explained a second ago here. But also I don't.
Upper East Side. Why didn't you get Teresa Caputo?
Thank you. That would have been
You're
amazing.
in the Upper East Side of the country. Why was Teresa Caputo in such a small vicinity of land? Because those states are so tiny. It is not like you're not going from San Francisco to San Diego to go get Teresa Caputo. You're
But
going
she's a
from like,
medium. She would have been like, "No-no's here," and like, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Because she
yeah,
talks about like dead people seeing, and
yes.
so it would have been totally different, but it would have been amazing. You're right.
It would have been different, but maybe there would have been a past ancestor on Danielle's side that would have said, "Look, I visit your brother, and this is what he's saying about you, and now I'm here with you, and this is what you're saying about him. What you both need to do is do this in order to bridge this relationship." Melissa, I know your father passed away when you were 16 years old, but he's with you, you know, X, Y, and Z, and he doesn't like what you're doing. He doesn't like you being on the television show. You know, Nono's here, Nona's here. They also don't like Teresa and Joe fighting, but they also think that you need to take a step back and let them figure it out by themselves. Like, that's what we needed to hear, especially because Teresa Caputo is right there. Like, call her. She can stop by Cake Boss to get some feelings that you can eat, and she can stop by at the house, at the table, and put out the feelings on the tables. That way everybody can eat their feeling. Okay?
I don't think the lady was terrible. But I think, yes, the theatrics of someone like, who did you say, Teresa Caputo? How do you say it, Caputo?
Teresa Caputo.
You know, being in the Northeast, it could work. I don't know if that mixes brands too much, but it would have been theatrical. It would have been extra.
TLC.
Is it TLC?
It's TLC Big Bravo. It would have been like, they're like probably enemies.
Yeah.
Well, they could have also gotten Tyler, Hollywood Medium.
Yeah, that's true. That's
brought him on.
Well, I guess the
he's
thing
NBC
is that
Universal because he's E.
Yeah, E is NBC Universal. You're right.
Yeah.
So I'll keep
but
it all
do
in
we
the
think that
family.
those scenes are running old though? I mean, you know, like I feel like they were good. The ones that Leon explained. You guys still like that generally? You just didn't like this lady.
No, I did not like her.
I didn't like her, but I do love a psychic to come on and rally everybody up. And
exactly. And here's why I didn't like her. There was nothing new that she was bringing to the table. It's everything that we've seen through the show thus far, 9 episodes in.
It was a recap.
Yeah. Yeah. Matter of fact, I have her right here. Hold on. Let me add her to the chat.
Right? She was recapping everything that happened.
Yeah.
She's like, you just fought with Jennifer Aiden and said something about her marriage.
She's like, you're
oddly specific
that you were at the Jersey Shore.
Jennifer's like, are you kidding me? Do you really think I would tell her to say endorsements when that's literally what you said? Don't you think that's stupid? But see, that's when Jennifer, you should have played it off and laughed and been like, I know it's so silly, right? Like it's literally the exact same word. Like this is bonkers. Like, but instead she just like starts getting all mad and it's like, it's too much. God, this fucking microphone is terrible. Sorry.
But if she's that, like, here's the thing too, is like, she's that blindsided right now by being an ally of Teresa's that if Teresa really set this up and really gave this medium fortune teller future holder a script, one of her best friends just set her up to be in this situation to get her riled up. Teresa's like the puppeteer.
She is.
That's moving everyone around in order to make her feel better. And then
which is crazy because she's like the best puppet herself.
Yeah.
Especially when like Louis was giving her that script and she's like, peace. Do you want to make peace? It was just like, oh God, this is
you
bad.
Want to make peace?
I know I can't do a good Teresa, but you're really good at it, actually.
Jacqueline, why? What, Jacqueline?
Hello, haha, funny. Guys, I have to go. Thank you so much for having me, though.
Leon, thank you for joining us. If you want to head over to his YouTube channel, let them know your handle. You can follow him at the Everyone is Terrible podcast. Please let them know your handle and where to find you and all your locations of your social medias.
Guys, thank you so much for having me. It was so fun. I love to talk New Jersey. We could do it all day long. That's why I have to like put a hard stop to it. I'm sorry. Please come over and check me out. It's Everyone is Terrible podcast. If you want to watch me, do Spotify. I love Spotify. You can see me on Spotify.
Oh, nice.
But if you just want to listen to it, it's on Apple. It's on YouTube. Hollywood Leon on everything. Everyone is Terrible pod on IG. I love a good DM. I do nominations for the most terrible of the week. Got some good people coming up. Good people that I'm like, really? You said yes? Oh my God. Okay.
Aw.
So
You
come
do a
check
great
it out.
you do a great job, and I'm not just saying that because I got to be a guest last week, which was such a thrill.
It was
But
fun.
also Leon's consistency. Like I always say, what makes Leon different is because he is an actor, but then he's a shady bitch. Like it's like the best of all worlds. So it's really a different. I say that with love. It's just such a different thing. So you definitely got a good show going. Everyone is terrible. We can't advocate for it enough. So yeah, thanks
Thank
for
you
joining
so-
us.
Yeah, I just like to go against the grain a little bit, so not keep it so safe. So I don't. Hopefully, it'll work out.
We love that. Thank you,
Thanks-
Lynn.
Thanks for having me, guys.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, sorry, I moved you and then I added you back.
I was like, where did I go? I'm gone.
Okay, well, actually, this is the perfect. Let me see where I'm at. Da-da-da-da-da. Turn that off. Okay, now we're next to this one. And this is the perfect transition for our next game. Or Dare.
Truth or dare. Okay, we got an image of Frank and Joey.
All right, Ronnie, what we're going to do now is we're going to play Truth or Dare. I'm going to ask you a question. You're going to choose, or no. I'm going to ask you Truth or Dare. You're going to choose Truth or Dare. And then I'm going to ask you something in regards to that.
Okay. All right. Well, I feel like Truth or Dare is a game that we do know. Yes.
I didn't know how else to explain it.
No, you did good. You did good.
Anyways, Truth or Dare. Here we go, Ronnie Jr. You're in the hot seat. Truth or Dare? Truth
Wait.
or Dare?
Oh, I'm supposed to give it. Oh, I was like, what's the question? Okay, Truth or Dare? Well, Dare, I guess, because I don't feel like what can we do in Dare? We're in these little on display boxes. I don't know where else to go.
I dare you to say 3 nice things about Teresa Giudice.
Oh, done. Teresa has given career longevity in a tough and difficult field that is reality TV. That's number 1. Teresa is a fantastic mother of 4 daughters, which cannot be easy, especially in the limelight, especially when Juicy Joe, did not come back to Jersey. And she's just so beautifully happy and in love. And we do love to see that. Yeah.
Thank you, Ronnie Jr. Cheers to that. We knew you had some love in there for Teresa.
I showcase to people who think that it has to be like Melissa versus Teresa. It does not have to be. You could like who you like, and you could show support to the other one. It's okay. It's gonna be okay. Team Melissa, baby.
Next Truth or Dare. Truth or Dare.
Truth or Dare? Truth.
Do you think?
No. Oh, okay. There's more to the question. Okay.
Do you think Melissa is really a victim in all of this madness between her, Joe, and Teresa?
Not really, because I don't really feel like she's going through stuff, but again, I don't think it's anything that she can't handle. I think she's a baddie across the board. I've always said that. If the show brings her back, they bring her back. She's happy. If the show doesn't bring her back, might suck a little bit. She's going to end up somewhere else, bigger and better. Melissa is a go-getter. There's no, I won't say there's no crying because this is family, but for the most part, I don't feel like meek for her. Like I like her. I like her strength. I like her tenacity. I like her 2 sisters. I like her mother, Donna Marco. I feel like everything's on the good side. There's not as much woe is me, although some stuff has been coming at her. But, sometimes you just take the BS and you keep it pushing. And I think that's what she's going to do. Yeah.
And round 3, Truth
gosh,
or
it's getting
Dare.
harder and harder. Okay, Truth or Dare, round 3. What do you want me to say?
I don't know. What do you want to say?
Let's do another truth at the end.
Oh, that's not what I wanted you to say.
Okay, I can flip it. I can flip it.
No, we can do truth. Do you think Melissa bought her followers?
Don't really know or care. Social media has been such a cornball thing to me. This is coming from somebody who worked in the radio industry 20 years ago. I care about, having vibrancy, being a compelling person on the television. Whether if she did it, it is a little lower in morals, but I don't know that she did it. And so I don't take me personally, I think social media is the corniest thing ever. So I don't really much care if she did or she didn't.
All right, Ronnie Jr., thank you for playing Truth or Dare.
Wait, so what happens to that dare? We have to roll it over next week or something?
We got to roll it over to next week.
Oh gosh, I am like,
I had a good one too. I had a good one.
damn,
Wait,
we
like,
may have to
right
do
here in my
another show.
pocket.
We may have to do like other like one-off shows that's not about a recap, but just like the pop culture extravaganza or something. Because this is good, and we had Hollywood Leon. Like, all right, we're doing okay.
I will say I did, out of the 2 games that we did play today, I did like Sue Slander throwing the slammer the best.
I can't believe you. I can't believe you did that game, and then you made us answer, and then I flipped it. I said, okay, Slammer, like as in Slammer the club. And not everyone knows where that's at, but if you're in the LA area, you know, the girls
Don't
know.
look it up.
And so I said, I'll take Joey over there. Me and Joey will go over. We will go over there.
You know, I just found out what the slammer is.
Okay, we're not gonna have it.
Found this out.
I don't think we're gonna have an aside
like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
I had no idea. Anyways,
okay.
Anybody who hasn't.
Well, it's probably a mouthful. The girls are talking. No, let's just stay. Let's stay on Jersey.
Well, actually, that was kind of the end of our little Jersey recap today because it was really a simple show. There was a lot that happened in a little bit amount of time. I think the only other thing I want to address is that I think Joe and Melissa's house is gorgeous. I think it's hilarious that Antonia has a bigger shower than Melissa, but like Joe said, she's my daughter. And I will say there is some weight to be said with that. The way that a man treats his daughter is the way that his daughter should expect a man to treat her.
Oh,
so if you show your daughter love, respect, and sacrifice in order to give you these great things, I think also she'll go find a man or woman that will show her love, respect, and then work to give her things that are worth time and worth waiting for. Because the house takes so long and symbolizes, those things that are great are worth waiting for. I kind of took it as a symbolism, which I love a good symbolism.
I like that. And here's the thing about when you live big and large and vibrant and all these things, you do run the risk of having people judge you for some of the things that aren't the greatest. Some things don't land as good as you intend. But for the most part, even what you're saying here right now, they're fun. The Gorgas are a lot of fun, and there is levels of like integrity and principles and morals and all of these things that I just wish more people would see. Again, I am not in the business to argue other sides of it, but I just feel like you could only use your voice and lend your voice to the things that you do care and like. And to me, they seem good. And when you're making Russell, when you're making that commentary that like you love to see Joe showcasing and being a really great role model to his daughter, to his daughter, it shows like we can't let these characters that we don't know, people don't know these characters. They are on a television show, but we don't know them. And there's, even Jennifer Aiden is somebody who I don't necessarily enjoy on the show. There's probably 10 trillion redeeming qualities about her. So I can't necessarily say, hey, not that I care what anyone thinks, but hey, to those who think the Gorgas are whatever they think they are, they're awesome. They're they're cool. I listen to On Display, the podcast, every week, or I hadn't always, but I do now. And it's tons of fun. We just got to judge based on what we see on the television. And as I keep saying lately, being on reality TV is very difficult. So I salute and give flowers to everybody.
Yeah. And no, like you're saying, living large is like one thing, and there's so much scrutiny that comes with it. I mean, people are going to nitpick about everything that you do. And again, I think there is a lesson to be learned that I'm going to get into my feelings for a second. I was in high school, and there was this teacher, did not like me, did not think I was smart enough to be an AP, did not think I was worthy enough to be an AP. He asked the question. He said, do you think individuals are products of their environment? I said, absolutely. He said, no, they're not. I said, absolutely. Because whether you choose to want to be better or you choose that you want to go down that same alley, you're still a product of your environment. Because this environment, because of what you lived in, produced you to push forward to become better, or this
Mhm.
environment also produced you to live exactly how everyone in that environment is living, or this environment also caused you to spiral because it was a bad environment and now you're worse off.
Mhm.
So yes, I do believe you are a product of your environment. With that being said, when I saw Joe talking about this is his daughter, I was like, hopefully Antonio will see that as, I want my spouse to do these things for me, and I'm willing to go just as hard for them. Because whether we like it or not, we end up bringing someone home with us that is some symbolization of our parents, right? Because that's how we learn, that's how we were loved, and that's how we've learned to love. So therefore, we look for those qualities. Good.
I'd love to know if that's 1,000% true though. And I'm not pushing back against you, but I'm just equating it in my head. Like my family's so good structurally in terms of I love them, but in terms of
Mhm.
like who they are and who I am, it's I'm always like, are we really related? So I don't really feel like I run in terms of who I'm, feeling. Like I don't really feel like I look towards that same quality, but maybe there's something I don't really know. You know what I mean? Maybe there's something that I'm not connecting. So I appreciate the conversation. I think it's a valuable conversation.
I think indirectly and unconsciously we attract those things
Mm,
because those are what's comfortable to us.
okay.
And then, of course, then you have you and I who are in our situations of, you have your chosen family, because you kind of have to go through this road of, and this is for a whole nother conversation, a whole nother podcast, but you go through this transition of going down this road of loneliness because you're not receiving the support that you want to receive. And so,
Mhm.
long story short, all I'm saying is that Antonia is being supported and guided and being respected as a young woman, and being shown that that there's more to life, and that people can love you like this, and that's okay. Like the old saying goes, I take my daughter on vacations to New York so that she doesn't find a dingy weekend in Vegas with you acceptable.
Oh, right, right. That's interesting. Yes, yes, yeah. And
there,
you and I relate to it in a way. We're not fathers, but like we have sisters, and
yeah.
my sister's 10 years younger, so it was never anything I had to worry about early on. But as I would get older, but as she would mature, I'd feel more comfortable. But yes, there is absolutely a concept of like, who's coming into their orbit and what are they bringing to the table? Where's their baggage? Some
Mhm.
baggage is necessary, especially after we're all, over 30 years old. There's always going to be a little something. But
I'm
I
perfect.
think, people can, and huh?
I said I'm perfect.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's another topic for another episode. We love an arrogant king for sure. And I'm arrogant too, so it is what it is. I was being very humble and warm and vulnerable and soft today. I don't know why. I just been feeling like very grateful for a lot of things.
Yes.
And I mean, you've never really heard me not say, Teresa's this, blah, 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 and like Melissa's icon. I'm just kind of like, do what you want, like who you like. Like this idea to convince somebody else is just so crazy to me. I don't love Teresa on the TV. The table nudge wasn't that interesting season 1 to me,
Mhm.
but it was for other people. It was for the network. And again, Teresa's lived her life in the public eye. Let that be. I'm sure next week I'll be shady again, but this week I felt very warm and very like I just want goodness for all of these cast members and their families, and it can't be easy. It just this is the reason they're making those paychecks are for a reason.
Absolutely. And to be fair, I mean, it has been raining the past few weeks, and like I noticed that you were on the beach yesterday, so you went for a stroll in the
Mhm.
sunlight. So sunlight can also give you this energy that like we haven't had in weeks because of the rain.
But I was outside in the cold beach, which I love a cold beach. Oh, should I sell it the other way? Okay,
Yes.
Russell, hold on, I got
Because
you.
you're glowing. You're glowing.
Run it back. I was on the beach, shirtless and everything, and they were all looking. Oh yes, oh yes. The waves were flowing. My hair was glowing. Yeah, it was nice. But I mean, it happened something like that. I
Like
don't know.
I honestly, I wish I could dim the lights so I could just like bring down the mood. Like dun, dun, dun.
We will get to that level of production. I gotta ask you a solid outro question.
Yes.
We did make the commentary, and it's not, I don't think we ever need to think of things as like replacing somebody, but the commentary came up earlier in our episode, whether who would be the perfect replacement for Andy Cohen. And then we were throwing all these names around and giving theories as to who you would bring up. But let's not even talk about his show. Let's talk about Russell. In the work that you've done, Peacock Streamings, Create the Escape as a host. Of course, you have your YouTube channel here and have been a journalist in terms of all kinds of places, including TMZ, this, and this.
Mm-hmm.
What would it mean to you to have a show that's in proximity to a Watch What Happens Live? Something new, something that is pop culture driven, brings out your humor, your warm side. What would that mean to you?
Honestly, it would symbolize so much for given the sacrifices that I've made, the friendships that have drifted away because I've honed in so much on my craft. I would kind of be beside myself, just like I was when I landed Create the Escape. I think at the time, the representation in the Hispanic community was right about a 4.6% representation throughout all media platforms. And I think it was something like a 1 in a couple million chance of landing this role with the odds and the percentages the way that they were skewed at the time. And so I was so grateful. Like, I didn't even know how to explain it. I didn't know how to accept that moment. So I think if I was to have something so big as such, it would mean the world to me, because I would be able to keep paving the way for other young Hispanic people who are trying to push themselves to be in the industry. And it would really open the floodgates for me to be this safe haven for them and understand their culture and understand, the struggles that our specific culture, you and I, our specific culture face when it comes to television and media. So I can, with my own production company, be able to afford these opportunities and create this diverse television series that we all kind of seek to have. And so I think if I was to land something as major as that, I would honestly show up so grateful and happy every day to work. And I would be looking for like the people who I can see and the passions. It would afford me the opportunity to be able to give out scholarships to people who would never be able to put themselves through college. Because in reality, I'm a simple human being who doesn't need much. I don't need a $15-20 million mansion. Would it be nice? Yes. Would I be able to house people and maybe foster kids and underprivileged youth and stuff like that and take them in as a father? Like, absolutely. But again, like, anytime opportunities afforded to me, like, I always try to give back. Even with my job now, like, I make a good amount of money. And so if I see someone, especially there's this man on the street who I see in our neighborhood, I'll buy him lunch every now and then when I see him, because it's like, I am blessed enough to be able to afford these things. And like, you're going through hard times. So I don't need $1 billion in the bank. I got a little extra money. I got a little bonus. I'm gonna go ahead and buy you some lunch. So something like that. Back to your question, if I was able to land something as big as this, it wouldn't only be me landing this, it would be us landing this, because I would be able to afford opportunities for everyone who's helped uplift me, and also open new opportunities in my own creations for those who are out there seeking it. We all have to remember that our dreams are not only built within ourselves, but that they're built with other people dependent on us. So I have the drive, the motivation, the push, and the work ethic to push forward. Someone else might not, but they might have a great work ethic of writing articles. And that has to do with my dream, as long as I can make it happen.
Well, I must say, at my much more mature age than you, because I am older, it would be all about me. It would be about that fat condo. It would be about dating all the right ones. It would be like fancy dinners. Oh, yeah. Philanthropy, schmalanthropy. No, I'm so silly. We got to go. We really got to go. But it's funny. I asked you the question and you were like in the perfect, like, I want to give back to everyone. I'm like, no, I want it for me. I am stingy today. No, I'm not stingy. But yes, I'll say it, and I'll say it always, every single episode. This is about everyone creating their own. You know what I mean? Like, there could be 10 trillion Real Housewives of New Jersey recaps. We have fun doing it. We appreciate it. We hope you could like, comment, and subscribe. But at the same time, watch the other one. Watch Hollywood Lee and watch all of our friends' stuff. Like I do want everyone to win because my journey has been about 20 years, and it's like I need to get that check to start rolling in a little heavier than it is. But I also want to have fun, and I want to see everybody kind of rock out together. I've learned, Russell, that I say the word rock out so much. It is so cheesy.
That's
I must be punished.
It's all good. That's your motto. Rock out.
Who says that? Hey, let's rock out. What? Oh,
rock out on the slammer.
Okay, we're gonna keep it PG. We did not mention the slammer in this episode. No, we did not. If you thought you heard it, you heard wrong. Thank you for welcoming me once again. This was a great time as usual. Yeah, I really always.
And everybody, you can find Ronnie Jr. Do I have your little slide up here? No, I don't, but it was in the very beginning. You can scroll all the way to the beginning. You can scan it with your smartphone. It'll give you all of Ronnie's social handles. You can find him here every week with me covering the Real Housewives of New Jersey. You can also find him on Difficult Podcasters and the Randomly Podcast, covering pop culture, hot topics, housewives, talking about his future man.
Talking about where I'm gonna get my Ozempic at. This is just the reason it's called Randomly is for a reason. So yes, follow.
And you can also find him on Jonesy in the Morning on 94.7.
Oh yes, support my queen of queens. She's been in the business for a very long time. She is releasing new music soon. She hasn't released new music in like over 25 years.
Yes.
Not only was she a stellar radio personality, and that's New York City at that. So we're looking at New Jersey housewives, like the tri-state area, the airwaves. We are talking. You know what? Maybe one of these days I'll do a little commentary on who I like on Real Housewives of New Jersey or something on the show. We'll see. To you, Melissa, baby.
And until then, you can find me all over the internet at Russell X Raymond. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel if you like us. Please leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Also, let us know who you would sue, slander, and throw in the slammer.
Oh my god!
When it comes to the Real Housewives of New Jersey. And if you're lucky, we'll bring it up. Tweet me, at me, but just don't text me because that's a little weird. Until then, we'll see you next week.